10 seconds remaining. Phoenix's turn to ban. Radiant team ban.
And just like that, we go from one series to another. Our second best of 3 coming up here for ESL One Frankfurt 2016 is going to be against Acion Arena. In qualifiers at our second semi-final, I'm Gareth from the JD Studios. Welcome, everyone, to game number 1 of this best of 3. And let's see what's in store for us today. Pete, first time playing up against these Filipino lads who have taken down First Departure, defeated Maneski in best of 3s, them both 2-1. Time to face the Korean overlords who have been underperforming a little bit since Dota Pit, but they do have to continue trying to qualify for lands. They fell at the final hurdle against Fnatic twice in Epicenter and ESL One Manila, but if they can go and play against Fnatic again on this one, if they can beat Acion Arena. But without further ado, welcome to my co-caster Scant. Pretty regular standard opening for both sides, I think.
Yep, nothing too unusual for the current patch, and I want to go back to what you're saying about MVP underperforming since Dota Pit, because it's like a common narrative at the moment, and I think it's, to some extent, it's just offline versus online, right? MVP is a team that's, for me anyway, they've impressed more offline than online, and part of that is just ping. Right? They went to Singapore a couple of weeks ago to play qualifiers, but they're not there anymore as far as I know. They're back in South Korea now, so they have worse ping, and they're playing against Southeast Asian teams against pretty much all of their opponents. Also, some of it is that they've been losing a lot of their losses recently in Southeast Asia against Fnatic and against TNC, who are just really good teams. It's not like they've been getting upset by smaller teams that, like yesterday they had a match which I think a lot of people thought that they were going to lose, and that was like disappointing, but they actually won the match. They made a couple comebacks against Signature, who Signature Trust themselves have been doing well recently, so I think coming into this match, MVP have to be big favorites. But that said, I know a lot less about their opponents here than I usually do. Maybe they do too. Maybe MVP know very little about their opponents here, and that could work against them. Because I mean, Pinoy Dota is like a place to look if you want to find teams that have like unique and creative ideas that kind of throw a curveball at you.
It's always something to look out for as well. You know, when a team goes to a LAN event and performs very well, then comes back to their native region or the region that they play in most often, all of the teams that have been waiting for them to come back from that LAN have obviously been, you know, watching their replays, judging their style, seeing how they draft, and analyzing how they. So MVP were always going to have that kind of deficit, right, against these Southeast Asian teams, where you know maybe they would have beaten them at that time at Dota Pit, surprising them a little bit. But the fact that Fnatic has been able to, you know, tapes and see what's been going on, as well as Acion Arena, just end up against their idols, as it were. But MVP so far, Invoker for MP, Witch Doctor for Doom, Febby. Say that, but they have been playing MP Doom time to time on the safe lane. I'm not a big fan, and see it. What are your thoughts on that one?
I think it's okay depending on the matchup, depending on the situation. Also, like depending on which hero you have in the offlane. If you have a lone druid in the offlane, you really don't need another like hard scaling carry kind of thing. I know that the safe lane Doom back in the day was like an Eternal Envy special as well. And there was kind of like based on the aggressive lineup, they would pick Bounty Hunter and Skywrath Mage and those kinds of heroes would just play on the momentum and run away with the game. And the safe lane Doom can do that. So it can do either of those things. It can be the less BSC carry when you have that in the offlane, or it can do the sort of snowball momentum lineup. I think outside of those two roles, I'd agree with you. I don't really like the idea of it much at all. And actually yesterday, I think it might have been game 3, I'm not sure if it was game 2 or game 3, when MVP lost against TNC 2-1. They had a Doom and an Invoker in that lineup too, and they got like a 20k gold lead with like Midas on Doom, Midas on Invoker, and then at some point TC just like turned it around because MVP got all this gold and they just didn't know what to do with it because the heroes they had weren't heroes that like once they get gold they like automatically close out the game. Actually they had an Invoker, Phoenix, and a Doom game. They all had Midas and they all had tons of farm and didn't really end up going anywhere. So what I'd like to see out of MVP today is that if that's what happens in this game, if they get using Devour and multiple Midas, they get a big lead. I'd like to see them actually, deliberately do something with it.
With something with your gold lead. Well, Dazzle's picked up to maybe try and negate a little bit of Doom's there. Yeah. Better Wave and Grave to help against that Doombringer's ultimate. Alive a little bit as well, but MVP back in with
Radiant
Spectre.
team pick.
Spectre, MP Invoker. So it will be a Febby Doom more likely than. Well, you're still looking for a Forever hero towards the offlane.
Can be a 4F Doom. I mean, that's something you can do. It's not as popular these days. It's more popular in the jungle, but I think offlane Doom is viable enough. And MVP, obviously, now that they picked the Spectre, won't get into that kind of situation I was describing as yesterday, because they were against the Spectre, and it was like, sure, you have a super farm Doom Invoker and Phoenix, but these are not heroes that, like,
5 seconds remaining.
it's nice to have a when you're in a situation where you can gain a big economic lead, it's nice to have a lineup that sort of automatically wins just by having a big economic lead. And having the Spectre does put them in that sort of position, pressure back onto their opponent to, force moves to try and reduce the lead if there is that kind of lead. And what's interesting for me is the Dazzle and the Sven together, all of that armor in terms of fighting, and in some sense is nice against that because the Deathblade's not gonna care that much about it.
And when I saw ACA go up against First Departure the other day, they had some really interesting drafts. Game number 1, they pulled out like a fifth pick Venomancer to deal with a lone druid kinda, and they ran over First Departure. They just got TPing in. They had a Puck, very mobile, and Gabby Sven was incredibly strong. Missed here for.
Seen Alchemist more and more recently in Southeast Asian Dota, and I've seen it run away with quite a few games. There was, I'm trying to remember now.
Next Generation.
Was that? Yes, it was Next Generation. He like completely matched with pulling out the Alchemist and just out of nowhere almost. But is this the Alchemist game? You have a Sven and you have an H's Prophet. Is this not a bit greedy about taking resources from the map? You just feel like your whole plan could collapse. You build a pyramid scheme around all these heroes taking lots of farm, and there's only so much farm on the map, and as soon as like there's some holes poked in your strategy, yeah, I'd love to see it work. I think I'd be very impressed by it. But, maybe they're thinking MVP's drop looks a bit greedy too.
Yeah.
Doom's gonna take a lot of gold, Spec's gonna take a lot of gold, and Burke's gonna take a lot of gold. But I don't know. I think that Doom is a hero that's misjudged as a greedy pick a lot of the time. I think Doom's a hero that play almost like a Enchantress in the jungle or Chen, just get active super early and be a big threat.
That's a really good side band there. MVP, I feel, looking for that base creating offlaner for Forever. Lone Druid was like the first one that came to mind, but that would be more greedy, but I guess quite greedy with greed here. Druid's good against Sven, can deal with Alchemist. But I just lean more towards Forever on these brawling offlaners, but with Beastmaster and Tide taken out,
seconds remaining.
available but maybe not the best. Awkward spot to be in. The last one remaining is what? Your Darkseer, really. Pressure onto Sven in the lane, Iron Shells can be irritating. That wall down, Sven and Alchemist, you got those auras up.
Yeah.
Should be turned around on.
The Doom is roaming into the lane with the Scorched Earth and Iron Shell can be really nice, and obviously Darkseer plus is a big combo late game, but it is a bit, to me that's still a bit too greedy. I think right now the approach I'd take if I was MVP is dial back the greed a bit and punish your opponents for the greed they have, because again, like I said, I think Doom is a hero that skill and has that greed potential, but doesn't have to, and they go for the Earthshaker, so is kind of dialed back to some extent. It's going to punish the 2 melee cores. I'm not sure if there's more about the Earthshaker right here that I can think of right now.
I'm wondering if it signals what Invoker's doing. We've seen a little bit of a shift away from not a big shift, just a few players from time to time, depending on like mid matchup and where they want to go with the Invoker, going back. I'm wondering here with Witch Doctor, Earthshaker, and Invoker against an Alchemist. Go for the Wex and just have like whole snaps tornado to kill him early and make sure that Alchemist farming away freely, because right now, I've seen Acion do before, the support Slardar, like this. The Nature's Prophet off lane, have a support Slardar running around. But they need someone who's dedicated to stacking up your alchemist.
This is gonna be a game where the Radiant side is better taking rush than the Dire side, I feel almost. ACA's draft looks really set up to rush. They've got so much minus armor, they've got clearance, and they can take the fight at the pit as well, barring Earthshaker getting that blink initiation. Got a lot of, they've got a lot of armor reduction, they've got a lot of armor adding, so physical damage is going to be difficult to win the fight against the MVP. But luckily for MVP, their lineup is not that based on physical damage. It's got some, but it's plenty of magical damage too.
5 seconds remaining.
Great. Uber Doom. Heavy on the Witch Docks.
Prepare for battle.
Switch up there. Duo Invoker. Everything's changing. Scant. What's going on?
Yeah, this is something also Kyo played Invoker in the last time I cast in TNT versus MVP, which was like a week or two ago. And it was also surprising to me there because MP is normally the one who's been playing. He was the only one who played Invoker for them at the major, I think. I don't think Kyo played the Invoker at all there. They've been liking Kyo on the Invoker, and in that game that I did cast where he played against TNC, they ended up being like a highlight video by a noob from UA with like 200,000 views because there was a sequence where he kind of like stopped the enemy team rushing 1v5. I must have missed something because I see you drawing a picture of something.
30 seconds
You missed it.
to
If you didn't see it, you're not going to be able to see it again.
Is it the Doom ate a tree? Is that it?
Oh, nothing. Draw it.
Yeah.
I was just drawing something. Yeah, the
I
Doom
mean,
did eat a tree.
Ate a tree. Kyo's Invoker is not in question. I actually just think that, personally, I like Kyo's Spectre a little bit more than MP is. There's probably not much between it. I'd love to have like inside info, be able to ask the players like, makes them decide which player plays which one. Is it just like a whim?
Interesting, because before they went to Dota Pit, there was always this conversation with myself and March or Heen when I was co-captain with them. And before the major or before Dota Pit, Euro had like a 37% win rate on Invoker. It was awful. And March used to flame him for it. You know, he used to call him Trash Invoker and say, no, I'm not picking you Invoker. That was kind of like March's little joke. But after, or like during the major and, or just before the major through to past Dota, a few times that Kyo played Invoker, he had like a 75% rate, and he was doing pretty well on it, but it was just, he was a lot more comfortable on the hero, and the carries that MVP were playing are able to be a lot more aggressive, which was obviously Kyo's style, while Forever was taking a decent chunk of farm from the bottom lane as well. But now, I'm not entirely sure what the decision making is behind it, but lanes are all set out.
I think that probably goes a long way to explaining it, actually. I think that's like, maybe before Kyo would play Spectre and MP would play Invoker just out of necessity. They didn't feel like they could do it the other way. And this is the way they actually prefer to do it. Like, Dubu thinks it's better for Kyo to be Invoker if do it, and that's why I shifted back now that he's do it.
How we set up? Forever off lane Earthshaker gonna try and rush into the Soul Ring, it looks like. Well, Gabby, Ben, not gonna be limited in his farming too much as Isihan does get back off. Back. Follow Slardar. Just stacking up camps, he has the Iron Talon and he's gonna be clearing through these jumps. And while on the Alchemist, he's got his fast bottle and he's heading into Bullman Shield. He's bullied Hero a fair amount. Low on HP and low on regen. He's got a salve remaining. You have to pop that right now, but Dubu is equally jungle trying to mirror what the Slardar's doing. Blue Net is propped up at top. This from happening though.
Previous time that you saw the support Slardar by ACA was also Iron Talon Slardar?
No. It was dual lane off lane Slardar. Can't remember who he was paired with though.
Darkseer maybe?
Omni. It was Slardar Omni. It was Omni farming. They shared a little bit of farm, but it was mainly Omni Knight farming. Mainly like the sprint into purification. They were up against the Spectre lane and the damn thing.
Well, it makes sense in this case to have a slightly different approach when the enemy team is running the Doom. But again, gonna be the third time I pointed out, but Doom must not be mistaken for just a greedy pick. He gets level 3 and he runs at people, and he's got creepy ones, he's got the itemy ones. Doom is gonna heal and he's gonna go start running at enemies, definitely. I'm pretty sure of it. And Slaughter is gonna have to create similar kind of value. Otherwise, the fact that you like go Iron Talon and jungle Bo because they have a jungle Doom, that justification doesn't work because the Doom is actually destroying your lanes. And there's gonna be a smoke rotation from Dubu into the mid lane right now.
Duo is already set up for this. Forge Spirit as well as Pulse Snap with Invoke off cooldown. The Ice Wall or the Sunstrike, well, boom. Makes a profit, and he might just chunk him down a little bit here. Bulu's got his Prince on through this camp, but Dubu he's alone, and I'm not sure he can go for this. He knows there's limited mana actually. Profit. What does
he could kill him. I don't think he's seen that there's limited mana, but if he knew that, he could definitely kill him. He's also got 2 stuns. He's got the Rock Throw and the Infernal Blade, and the potential for Sunstrike, so he ends up just stealing a bunch of the XP, waiting around. I mean, he didn't have the information.
Vada farm to this jungle, but Hero's being given mid lane free here for now as G down at bottom rune spot. He wants a bounty. V. It's Arcane. It's not too bad. Your ass.
Dubu's about to die. Dubu's about to die.
See it up at the top. Scorched the Earth comes out. Properly can try and TP, but here comes the stuns. The Sunstrike is there and secure the first blood for the Invoker, but Febby will kill for himself, and Prophet is your ball.
So Doom is involved in a kill. Slaughter yet to be, although it's not so bad at this point. If it keeps happening, if the Doom makes, provides space for kill after kill for like 3 or 4 kills, then we'll want to ask questions.
Get up to the top lane. Gonna get stunned out with the Sunstrike here. Might just die straight again. Yes, he has. Bye. Enters Prophet and maybe fly solo. Goes for the 2-man crush, but Dubu's here to turn it back around. Infernal Blade's still on cooldown. Venom Strike out there. They still look for this tier 1 up the top lane. The catapult has been going to work. Carty damage down to the tier 1, but Nature's Prophet dies. TP's back in, dies again. Vladar's kind of left his own devices for now. Rough stuff though. Furion.
Alchemist gets targeted next. He comes back to this lane. He's quite level 6. He's so close to level 6, but he managed to dive him before he gets. Okay, he's just got the 6 now. He probably lives with the ulti, I'm not sure.
Well, Dubu wanted that courier, but they want G instead. The ulti's popped. Look at the damage output. The minus armor is here from the Force Spirit, and the damage is not quite there. He's burning through, but it's not enough. TP in from the Nature's Prophet will try and stop this as well. G barely keeps himself alive. One more hit was all it took. VP don't quite catch it.
So, out of interest, as a mid player yourself, how do you feel about? I don't know if you've seen this. It's been happening a lot recently. Is the Ring of Aquila Invokers?
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. And this is like a long-winded discussion I've had before. With safe lane heroes, I love Ring of Aquila. Like, Ring of Bassi has always been a really good item, and then just like padding out your stats a little bit, builds the slot, right, with the Wraith Band. It's like decent stats. Expensive overall as an item, the full Aquila is like, 1,050 gold or whatever. Oh no, 985 gold, sorry, they changed the ring. But, I feel like, top lane, it's probably dead again. But if you're filling out that slot, I think it's pretty good, and Bassi has always been a pretty core item on a mid to slow build up for Invoker. You want the armor, especially now his armor's been reduced, you want the mana regen, and you want the attack damage. Good all round. For mid, I'm not 100% sold. I'm okay with it. I don't particularly hate it. It's one of those things that, you buy the Wraith Band, get a bit of attack speed for the Exalt Invoker, and you've got the Bassi to follow up into the Aquila, and it's like, right, there's my slot done.
Yeah, I wonder whether it's like, I even saw yesterday, I can't remember who, but I saw a safe lane OD buy it. It makes me wonder whether it's just like it's just a really good value for money item, and people hadn't bought it on non-AcA heroes before because they're like, oh, it has a Wraith Band, but that's, maybe that's a pretty superficial reason to not buy an item. Yeah. Oh, it has a Wraith Band, so what?
It's the same reason, like, remember in Dota 1 when Viper and Necro used to buy Vanguards, right? People used to flame you because, oh, it's the ranged hero, Vanguard trash.
Yeah.
same reason I used to buy ring back on strength heroes and ninja heroes up towards the base lane. G is dead mid lane. Holy crap! The commitment there from MVP. QO nearly dies and will die. Acid spray with the help of the tower takes him out. Yeah, I used to buy ring of Aqua on like strength heroes and int heroes on the safe lane and got blamed. Like, why are you buying a wraith band, you idiot? It's not an AcA hero. It doesn't matter. It's the same reason why people flame you for having 2 drums on a team. It's just there's no good reasoning. It's just the precedent has been set that it's a bad idea because people don't do it. But there's no actual logical reasoning as to why they don't do it.
Yeah, it's just some tradition. So it's nice to see people. I agree, and it's nice to see people break out of it. It's just like that much more creative thinking when you're thinking outside of the like existing conventions. Well, Alchemist has finished an Armlet, and this is a build that we have seen, or at least I've seen from most of the Alchemists recently. Even sometimes when they go for Radiance, they get the Armlet first. It doesn't necessarily say it's going to be the all-in fighting build.
Bro has his Midas completed though. AcA. Decent timing on that one. Well, Febby Arcane Boots and these ports, as well as the off lane, are looking pretty good for MVP, honestly. Net worth spread here, you're looking at Sven, who's going to start boosting himself up with the Ancients. That by Dubu, and they've got a ward to see when the Sven actually heads himself over there. The Alchemist, 4,500 net worth, farming through jungle camp. He does need to build himself very quickly through the battle build into his, Blink, S and Y. The items that allow him to jump in and tank through the damage that MVP throw at him. Oh, bottom tier 1 is being dropped slowly but surely, but the TPs are coming through from MVP and they want to start something off here. Dubu hit level 6, but a Fisher to kick off the TP in from Febby Bush Doctor. Cat bounce onto anyone, and Dubu doesn't have a way to cut through the trees. The Bolt Toss is going to slow down the retreat from Gabby, but it's not going to be any further damage here. Phoenix, because QO wasn't available to join the fight.
MP doesn't have mana for horns. Not already. He could TP base and be able to horns. That's what he's gonna do. Yeah, they're gonna pursue a fight probably because, I mean, at the very least he wants the option of being able to horns in dagger. Alchemist and Sven, this is why I identified initially as so greedy. These are both heroes that, like, the way that they thrive is they come out at like 15-20 minutes and they've got like double everyone else's net worth. If somehow ACA find a way to do that for both heroes at the same time, I'll be like thoroughly impressed and they'll probably win the game. It just doesn't seem realistic that you find the space to get the super farm level on both of them.
With that ancient stack, they'll get plenty of levels on them, but gold is going to be difficult. Dubu. What are you up to, Dubu? Walks into the amplified damage, but it's a TP onto the tier 1 mid, trying to counter up Gabby on the back end. Next Providence then. Clara even, of course, Dubu, and probably just going to take him down and right-clicking him into oblivion, but Gabby, more important target here. MP's still chasing and hunting for the Hawk forward. Let's catch out the Sven. Strike not going to land onto the Sven. The healer's there as well from the Dazzle. Grave is available as well with Gabby. Oh, good Fisher. Grave Fisher. Grave not available. Even with a fly solo trying to get the crush onto MP. Forever is still there to block off the retreat. Through the trees for him there, but the body block, look at that creep. MVP, little base creep, Echo Slam, maybe not MVP anymore, as the target in for the damage output to come through, and 4F dies to an ancient. All disasters here from ACA as mid lane G. His ultimate, woke himself off. Time QO still farming up on top lane.
This is something I should know, but do Ancients create echoes from Echo Slam? Did that deal more damage because there were Ancients nearby?
They do, because they're units.
I anticipated. Like, I feel like the Echo Slam did a lot more than I thought it would there.
Yeah.
Turn things around a lot quicker.
Because...
I don't...
Yeah, just because they're magic immune doesn't mean they don't create shock.
So I think that maybe helped out a bit, because there were some which were really in range. That's what it looked like to me.
Prophet's going in for a hit, but Dubu's found him with the Doom forward. Slow him down with Infernal Blade and the Orb of Venom, but in comes Alchemist. Sunstrike, barely gonna miss out. Skemble doesn't pass it, but Dubu's still on the hunt, looking to chase this one down. The crush is there, the deny available, but no, the cancel stops it and cancels it out. The Deathwolf is heavy, shredding through Fly Solo, maybe killing him off, and it will do so indeed. With Dubu chased out, he can barely catch up. Concoction there to throw, and Dubu will die eventually. ACA They lose so much in this fight with the cask, and now the boulder toss coming through. G's gonna lose his ultimate in a couple of seconds. It's gone. Forever ready with the enchant ultimate. MP, the Spectre, just gonna chase down the Alchemist. Another Sunstrike comes through, and QO adds in the damage just enough needed for MVP to take down 3 heroes in quick succession. And in the meantime, QO leech experience from the Ancient AcA.
Sure. Hero has been, I mean, it's incredible. The thing that this Invoker does in the current metagame, just farming and pushing all the time, but also being involved in all the kills of the Sunstrike, and it's almost, I mean, in a way that's this various heroes that have ways of almost like cheating the gold mechanics of the game, and they seem to all be very popular at the moment. The Spectre, the Invoker, the Sven. I mean, it's not that surprising on that basis that Alchemist is making a bit of a comeback in this region, because it's got the most direct way to cheat the gold mechanics.
An early Roshan here for this team. Double Forward Spirit, of course, helping out with the Buddha Restoration, and there's no good way for ACA to contest this. Blink on Slardar, he's 900,000 all the way even away from that. And G's Alchemist, like he's heading back into the Relic, heading back into the Radiant. MP, don't have the Aegis, it's actually going to be the Invoker with it. Infernal Blade now, the Boulder toss out onto G. Dubu having difficulty sticking onto the target. QO just needs to throw a cold snap or something. Catch out fly solo, and that's what they'll do. Swipe him down. One more hit from Dubu's sword, and now the Horde comes through. Acion, Dazzle, easy target, but they want to go for the Alchemist instead. G slow down by the dagger, and they want to catch this one out. You have the sustainability with your ultimate exploring in 1 second's time. Doesn't look like you do. Ooh, Femi, where's the Death Ward? Okay, moves the big coach available to Sun, that's great. Keep him alive. The Death Ward's now climbing down, but G's still alive. MP dives in. There's no urn here, and with Gabby? MP? Oh? He's on to tier 2 and just get obliterated.
I guess maybe not expecting the Doom to be up, or can't think of a better explanation.
Thought I could kill them all.
Yeah, you just have those visions. Like if you're a Sven player, you have those visions of I'm gonna go in and just cleave everyone in 2 hits, but not quite at that point yet. And it's really important that MVP are keeping up this like persistent aggression. I think the lineup that ACA have and the way they're playing it, if the game became passive for 5 minutes, 5 minutes, all of a sudden the Sven and the Ulk would be huge. So it's very important MVP are just rolling with the momentum. Almost non-stop aggression in this game, and certainly they are the right team to be in this position where what needed is aggression. They're pretty comfortable in playing that role.
Down this Radiance, down the Orchid heavily. 1, 4, and 3 Next Prophet having difficulties while Slardar, followed by the 4 Blink. Earthshaker solo kills him. And actually doing, he's out the Ancient stacks and he's gone into the Y build, but I'm just wondering if maybe a better to create a little more control here for them. They've got damage, they've got good stuns and lockdown, they've got
Radiant's
team
bottom
fight.
tower is under attack.
Ways of getting in and out of these team fights is the difficulty, because Dubu's always been the ones on the front lines running it. He literally just the Doom just walks towards you, puts on Scorched Earth and says, you know what? You run away now. You do not belong here anymore. Try and turn and fight him, he dooms you.
I think he definitely wants the blink. I mean, I just think the progression on Sven is meant to be, he's not meant to have that much pressure on him, he's not meant to have those 2 deaths. Because they have the Ulk as well, and they both get more pressure than they normally do. And then at 16 minutes would actually want to have the S and Y and the blink already, I think, most of the time.
Still has a lot of work to do. Ice solo. Oh, 900 all the way from his
tower is under attack.
Slardar. Well, what we're looking at here? Duo nearly has Aghanim Scepter, or does he have it done? 500 gold off it. Boo, Drums and Tranquil, probably head into like the Vlad or something like that, but he's being pinged out by the rest of the team now. Oh, no, sorry, he is the one pinging out for the rest of the team to come and with him. Jumps on in a second with a Sprout into control. Damage here from G, and Dubu tapped in the trees. Good heal bomb as well from Ishihan.
Radiant's top tower
Clear
is
off
under
that
attack.
Doombringer.
Finish the Radiance for Ulk, and really interesting they go for a smoke when Alchemist is like 300 gold from Radiance. You expect the carry player to be like, guys, let me finish my item, but they see a good opening. Dubu kind of saw it too. Dubu didn't make the right decision, you know, he was like, come reinforce me. I think maybe it should have been, I'm gonna go back, they're probably all coming, yeah.
At this point, you're assuming level 4 Scorched Earth and Tranquil Drums, you're tanky enough to deal with it. That Treant block from the heal bomb was so good. Yay, but Duo, he has had a relatively free game so far, 18 minutes in, 11,000 net worth, he's outstripping the Alchemist at this point, with the Midas just going freely here. Oh, this keeps coming into him, and now looking for a tier 2 of his own. Oh, he's literally pushing solo. bo3 here is behind him, but no one to stop. Oh, okay, Naked Crocodile on top lane. Pay attention to this mid-fight, it's going to kick off soon with a Fisher, maybe a blinking chance. Nope, Forev, not going to go in too deep for that one.
I think at the bot lane, Dubu was probably expected to tank a bit, but at the same time, this is a game where he's not going to tank. Doom is known to have low armor. I wouldn't be that surprised if he went for one of those blue ogres just to boost his armor, because you're against a Dazzle and an Alchemist and a Slaughter. Like there's always going to be huge armor reduction going on.
And your 3, 4, and 5 holes can make solo kills. Like Spectre's not even needed here. Come in for a bit of a help, and now jump back over towards the Slaughter as well. MV chasing this one down with the drums pop, but why solo? Safely behind the tier 2 for now. Yeah, your 3, 4, and 5 rolls can go and make kills on 1 roll, 2 roll, 3 roll, and any roll they want to. Spectre able to jump in, and the Invoker having that global Sunstrike as well. Your 1 and 2 for MVP can be anywhere on the map. The other 3 can just go roam into people.
Actually so important that the heroes that they have are those two, the Invoker and the Spectre, because it's the only way that MVP can consistently sort of keep up with the farming game, but also play the aggression to like pressure the enemy team's farming. Precisely because these heroes can just be farming non-stop and still involved in the kills.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, this Radiant from the Alchemist has got to build him bigger and better things. Boots of Travel. I wonder if he goes back into that kind of Manta or Green build and just pressure as much as he can, because MVP at this point, they are pretty hard committed to taking full map control and dominating the rest of this game. Jan, when he's back up in about 2 minutes time, but MVP takes down another tier 2, Febby claims the gold from it. 1,000 gold on top of Arcanes and Mech. These are game closing items, Scan. These are indicators that MVP just want to say, screw it, we're finishing the game, you have no chance on the Alchemist. We're ahead, we're staying ahead. Throne's gonna die.
Yeah, it's the right move. Like Alchemist net worth, he's very rich right now, but the items he has are not really the ones he wants. Right?
Tough to cleave through, but a full step back on the Subaru, healed up by Febby as well, and Gabby, Death Ward dropped on his head. Finished him off, and QO, Sunstrike, dodges out of there. Off towards the north. Go slam in 15 seconds, QO. Back his Forge Spirit and turn it back around onto G, who's aggressively walking up to the high ground with the Iceborne down. Down that long range concoction, but look at this, Nature's Prophet. 1v5, TP's into the middle of the wall, the Iceborne's still here, Fly Solo was back in the middle of it, G is there as well, the trap now in the cast, he turns to stun, but Fly Solo's dead. Okay, back again and Forev. Get back outside of the acid spray, he wants to blink and echo, but he can't make him really get over that Fisher. Trapped in a cage of his own design, but can't think the game might just be over.
I honestly feel like MVP were planning to turn. They were running away, planning to turn, and then the Nature's Prophet TP's into their backlines, and they're like, you know, it's just almost too good to be true. Like, Sven didn't have God Strength, used it in the original initiation, so he still doesn't have it again. So MVP more than happy to just keep going.
AcA, Forever, you okay there, mate? Starnar's dead, but buyback available for the Alchemist. Sven drops. AcA molested inside their own base pretty much here as their actual fall down at bottom lane. The tier 3 middle will drop as well. BP lost their courier. Off it, I guess.
Middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is
Must
under
be,
attack.
but not a big deal in the bigger picture. I mean, if they manage to get 2 sides of AcA, that's pretty game ending.
Yeah. I've never heard that line before, but Alchemist flies back and he's like, that's not a Radiant. Guy. Guardian Greaves from Febby. Just no one is dropping low here for MVP, and AcA, they have such a hard road defending this. Rax defending their throne, defending their own lives. The Slice Souls jumped on the Graven there from the downfall, but the cast bounces back on them. Tornado will catch him perfectly, and not quite perfectly, but still with the Maledict from Febby to clear up yet another kill. And MVP take down the second laner Rax here, 22 minutes in. Tearing through one after the other, Gabby finally gets himself into the thick of things, kills off the Witch Doctor in the ice wall, move himself out of this one. Got no blink either. Meatball thrown out to retreat. P, happy with what they got.
Again, if you look at the net worths, like the individual net worths, not the overall net worth. Look at the net worth, Sven doesn't look that far behind, Optimus doesn't look that far behind. The problem is that these heroes, the way they work, they're supposed to be very far ahead. Elk is meant to have a 4k lead on the Invoker, not the other way around. The Sven is meant to also have a 4k lead on the Invoker, not the other way around. And Sven right now is meant to have Blink and BKB, not just the Blink. He's meant, like, the BKB should be complete, like, with the absolute minimum in his progression, but he's only just starting to farm it. I think that this setup, when I look at it, this Sven and this Elk, like, getting their timings, I think against most teams, they already get away with it. I think they've done a good enough job that the reason that it's not working out is because MVP are just so good at getting that aggression going early on in the game and then keeping it consistently going. It doesn't look like the game is close, but if we go back to that 10-minute mark, MVP had laid off for another 5 minutes or so, ACA already hit their timing. It really is like there was a close window early on, and now that MVP kind of hit that window and going, it looks like they've completely ran away with the game, but the point where this game probably was kind of close.
Alchemist with that armlet. Like he was gonna get the decent timing on the Radiance. Ubo hides with the ult. G isn't gonna get stunned up either. Haunt has gone to waste a little bit there, but it has this Radiance up. See where the Alchemist is in terms of farm, while Sven saying blink into BKB, but the BKB is a little bit slow for this one. And for them, an MVP, it's pretty obvious where they're going with this. They've got their eyes set on the tier 3 and the racks up the top lane, so they can then swing down and take the remainder of the mid lane as well. Full refresher, even before Octarine Core here for QO.
You see what Forever bought?
Yeah. That is a Chrysalis. God Strength, jump in, Zubu. Target they've gone for, and that Sam doesn't not going to do too much. Death's available here, and a full step off for him, goes back, though, with the Death Ward down, Sunstrike landing, though, not quite well enough. But MP still swipes him down, and MVP. They're just gonna... And one by one. Alchemist. What they wanted was a cool, calm, relaxing walk through the jungle. What they got instead, hordes of Korean players absolutely destroying him. ACA the tap out. Game number 1 ends 7-27, 25 minutes in. P Phoenix hit their stride.
Probably what you expect from the matchup. I think I'm more impressed that, like, somewhere, even though it doesn't end up looking close, they ACA's draft, which looked incredibly greedy to me. I think in a different game against a team that's slightly lower in their, like, pressuring and aggression, I think they can hit their stride.